Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? Now, Stanley, Idaho, folks. Stanley, Idaho is showing similar behavior of I saw this happening in Nevada. This was basically I would say a month ago, and when I actually dig further into it, guys, there were actually that section of Nevada there were cracks, and it was actually caving in. It was cracking. Now, the reason why I mentioned this, Stanley, Idaho got like 40 earthquakes today alone. From 2.1 to 3.4, around 30, probably even more. Now, whew, that's east, guys. That's east of the Yellowstone. Now, I know it's not that close to the Yellowstone, but what I'm trying to say to you folks, part of the reason why Idaho is getting so much earthquakes right now is because of magma intrusion. Magma intrusion that's happened at Yellowstone. I promise you. Okay, I Stanley, Idaho, easy 30 plus earthquakes today. Easy, easy. Mount Etna in Italy also erupt. Pretty much for the past like 15 years, Mount Etna it erupt almost every year. They get seismic activity there, a lot of and they will get volcanic eruption. So it's not really. I'm not really watching it too much. I know it was pretty big. It was a pretty big eruption. I saw it, but it's a very active volcano. So it's not where I'm keeping my eye at this point, even though it's a volcanic eruption. But it's a volcanic eruption that happened pretty much every year. But Stanley, Idaho, folks. Now, the West Coast, the West Coast is having ground swells off the coast of Oregon. So what that means is that they're having magma movement. Magma is moving under the crust on the West Coast. Mount St. Helen, okay? Mount St. Helen is also having magma intrusion. It's all the way over there in Washington State. That volcano is going to also erupt, right? This is the reason, folks. This is why Stanley, Idaho, Stanley, Idaho is getting a lot. And I'm telling you, mark my word, the reason is because of magma movement that's going on at Yellowstone. I'm not saying Yellowstone is close beside Idaho. That's not what I'm saying. It's because of the magma movement at Yellowstone under the crust, way under the crust. Why? This section of Stanley, Idaho is getting a swarm of earthquakes. So basically, what I'm trying to say to you, the ground right there in Stanley, Idaho is cracking. I promise you. Yes, it is. It's cracking. I bet you probably won't see it yet because it's the same thing that happened in Nevada that's going to happen there. Give it another 4 or 5 weeks. If you're over there in Stanley, Idaho watching my video and you're right where all those earthquakes are happening, start looking in that area, start looking in the ground, around the ground, and you see what I'm trying to say to you. And big quakes again for Japan. Something huge is coming for Japan, guys. Something big. Something really, really big is going to hit Japan. And it's not going to be pretty. I believe there's going to be a underwater volcano erupting off the coast of Japan, where you find all those big seismic activity. And also, more quakes are going to hit south of Fiji and also Tonga. They're going to see a lot more seismic activity over there. And again, Turkey and Greece still in the crosshair. You guys are in for some big quakes. And the new Madrid is again waking up. Okay, guys? Yes, it is. Now, in New Mexico, not saying New Mexico is under New Madrid, not saying that. But what's happening in New Mexico is going to affect Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee. It's going to send shockwave through the New Madrid fault line. And guys, in the past 3 4 days, they had over 100 earthquakes in New Mexico. I'm not making this. I'm not making this up. anywhere between 2 to 3 days, way over 100 earthquakes. Again, I'm not saying that's where the New Madrid is located. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, the reason why I keep mentioning this area is because it's going to send shockwaves over to the New Madrid, and also these vibration is going to reach places like Ohio, is going to reach places like New Jersey, east coast of Canada, all the way up to Maine, Massachusetts. Those places are going to get earthquakes, all because of the eastern the craton on the eastern side of the North American continent. The North American continent, guys, is made up of six craton joined together. Okay, so it basically is going to let loose. It's going to unzip some areas that earthquakes don't normally hit. And I want you guys to get yourself ready for this. Once again, guys, people are like, oh, the focus is not only on the New Madrid fault line. The New Madrid fault line is actually the oldest fault line on the planet. Yes, it is. It is also more dangerous than the San Andreas fault line. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It have the capability of generating bigger earthquake than the San Andreas fault line. And I want you guys to be aware of this. And it has in the past, in the 18th century, 1810 to 1811. I think one of the biggest earthquake that hit the New Madrid fault line was actually 8.9, close to 9.0. It rang church bell all the way up in Massachusetts. So I'm letting you folks know that history is going to repeat itself. And again, guys, the volcano that's off the west coast. Keep an eye on those volcanoes off the west coast of Northern California, Oregon, and Washington State. Axel Simon, that volcano. If you're on the shoreline of those locations that I've listed, the volcano Axel Simon is basically it is a super volcano if you want to believe it or not. But I'm telling you, don't sleep on that volcano and don't take it lightly. All right, I don't want to give too much in this video because I don't want this video to get flagged. But USGS listed that volcano more dangerous than the Yellowstone, the one on the west coast of California. Yeah, the Axosima. It can create more of an havoc than Yellowstone. Again, I'm going to leave it there. So be aware of your surrounding. Again, Stanley, Idaho, swarm of earthquake, and the reason why I'm going to lean on the fact that magma is moving at Yellowstone and it's triggering these seismic activities all the way over to in Stanley, Idaho. And that section of Idaho, there's going to be ground cracks happening there very, very, very soon. So I'm preparing you folks. So when it start happening, you can't say I didn't tell you, or you can't. I'm letting you know what's coming. All right. So once you have this information, you have an idea of how to prepare yourself and how basically to stay aware of your environment if you're in that location. Again, guys, Mount Etna, if you're over there in Italy, it's not. It's something that happened pretty much every year, but this year it's a big eruption. And I hope this video helps, man. My friends over there in the West Coast,